that was also very popular in the 80s that apparently is coming back is the Highlander series. So if you were a fan of the Highlander series with Christopher Lambert, or, Sean Connery was in there too, or if you were watching the TV show with Duncan MacLeod, the Clan MacLeod, you're getting more Highlander moving forward. And I don't know if it's a huge, thing for a lot of people, but I love these in the 80s. Well, the first one came out in 1986. There Can Be Only One. Anything that has Queen as the main song for the soundtrack, I'm down. Rock it out. Here we are. That whole thing, and Who Wants to Live Forever, the song by Queen, amazing. But Lionsgate is moving forward with the Highlander, and they're doing a reboot with, of course, Henry Cavill was the man attached to it to play the main Highlander for this. He's been attached for years, but now they finally announced that the writers are getting moving again. This is happening. It's moving forward, and Lionsgate is trying to sell it for distribution right now. They're trying to get somebody else attached to it, and they said from the 31st to the 5th, they're really going after people trying to have bidding wars over this product, and they're going to move forward and start producing it too. And they said this is going to be a kind of it's like a prequel, but they're also saying it's going to tie in the TV show, the movie. It's going to tie all this together. It's going to be before the gathering, if you're a fan of that, where all the Highlanders get together and fight to whoever be the one. And the director of John Wick is actually for tying the whole thing. So you have John Wick's director taking over the realm for this whole franchise and moving forward. And their hope and goals are, with Henry Cavill attached, they can do a whole new series, or maybe they have ideas for a TV show too to branch off it as well. And a lot of people loved this back in the 80s. Like I said, Christopher Lambert was fucking awesome. You had a huge cast. But again, it's not for everybody. It's something that, again, we're reaching into the past, pulling out and trying to find something to make it relevant again today. And is it relevant? Is it necessary? Do we want to see it? That's the big question. Rachel, were you ever a fan of this? Do you think this is a good IP to bring that IP-ness back and make it something relevant again today? Or do you think that you should just leave this in the 80s and, it was good for what it was and just let it be?
I don't think all IP-ness works, but this seems like a really strong, hard IP-ness that they could definitely ride into the future.
Woo! Love the puns.
Goldie's face.
So funny.
Due to the nature of how the Highlander works, you could bring this show back infinitely. Just with different actors, it doesn't matter. It's totally fine. If there's a demand for it, if they're going to respect the original property, sure, go for it.
Yeah, they're talking about that. They're talking about bringing maybe even crossing things over, tying into the old franchise. Have you ever been a fan of this series at all?
I don't think they should bring back a CGI Muppet of Sean Connery. I'm not here for a CGI dead dude.
Sean Connery.
Let the dead rest. I think we don't need to bring back any deceased Highlanders. If you can use archival footage, sure, maybe, but I don't like the trend of the CGI dead dudes.
And that's a good point to put out there, because that is the thing. And Sean Connery was a very big part of this franchise. Yeah. And he was training, Connery to become the next Highlander. And he was fucking great in this. He was so good. I love Sean Connery in this. But maybe leave that alone. But they're talking about, playing along with it might continue some stuff, tie into other franchises. So if that's the case, they might be thinking about that. But you're right, leave that away, because sometimes they start doing the Flash, and it's we don't want to see that again. We don't want to see that at all. Yeah. Goldie, have you watched these movies before, or maybe the TV series?
I watched the original Highlander. And I gotta tell you, I loved it. Rutger Hauer, right? Wasn't he involved in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great fucking movie. And then I was done. So I'm not going to jump into the next round of this bullshit. I say this all the time. Sometimes enough's enough. And the greatest example of that is any of the Jaws franchise. The greatest movie ever made, in my opinion, hands down, on every level, is Jaws.
Great movie.
Every Jaws remake or prequel or whatever has been atrocious. So the bottom line is, I'm not a big fan of part 1, 2, 3, and 4. It works really well with some things, the Star Wars universe, etc. But Highlander is Highlander. It's now becoming Lowlander. I'm done with it. I'm not terribly interested. Sean Connery was great, but it's time to move on. I mean, I don't need Conan 27. I don't need Highlander, the fucking musical.
I don't do that too.
I don't need this. You know what I mean? I just don't fucking need it. What I need is some substance. Sabrina said on a recent podcast or recent episode, everything, everywhere, all at once. I mean, how many times do we have to say that so that the studios start to listen and understand we want something we've never experienced before? That's what we want. That's the whole reason I, as a creative, wake up every day, is to provide something you haven't seen before. I mean, there's no doubt. And other podcasts and episodes of your show, you talked about stealing. Stealing is absolutely important, but it's your twist on it that matters. And Highlander 27 isn't a twist. It's Highlander 27. So take the Highlander concept and do something with it and add your own garlic and call it your own. What we're doing right now is atrocious and embarrassing. For people like me and you and Sabrina and others that work in the industry, and we endure the bullshit like strikes and all the reasons we strike for, we do it because we want to create something to enthrall and enthuse and inspire and change our moment in life. And these rehashes and these sequels, they're an excuse to exploit as much money as they can out of our fucking pockets. But it's not what's driving the industry. It's Everything Everywhere All at Once that's driving the industry. It's River Runs Through It. It's the original Star Wars. It's the original Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's taking chances on filmmakers and ideas that, you know, it may not have a franchisable exit at the ending. But they're not
100%.
But when they do, they will reap the rewards. And Everything Everywhere All at Once is a great example of that.
Proof.
Goldie, I want to ask you, we had this question yesterday or Wednesday, but they want to kind of, Matthew Vaughn was talking about rebooting Star Wars and how he wants to do it all over again. Would you be about something like that? Because you bring Star Wars up. You think that'd be a good idea to like recast Luke, Luke Skywalker and Leia and all that? I think that'd be a smart move.
It's hard to even comment on that because that in itself is its own thing. Star Wars isn't even a movie franchise. It is its own universe. It's its own stratosphere. I don't know what more can be mined from that fucking pit, but maybe there is more. For me, I don't care if I ever see another Star Wars anything. I have seen what I need to see. Look, Mandalorian.
You like Mando?
Yeah, the first season of Mandalorian was eye-opening and exciting and interesting, and I think they did a great job with it. It didn't change my life, and I'm not better for having seen it like I was when I saw the original Star Wars. But it's cool, and I'm open to cool. I'm open to fodder. But to redo, rehash, create a whole new thing, hey, man, maybe there's something there. I'm not saying there isn't. Does it excite me? No. But does some idea from a kid in the middle of nowhere in Podunk, Indiana, who just wants to tell his story about something that he experienced on mushrooms in the woods in a frozen bog? I want to see that. But no one's going to give that kid a fucking chance because right now, the only thing that motivates the motion picture industry is return.
Recycling.
It's not about investment. It's only about return. And that's the problem. And so how do you grow or build or create or even expand without investment? So it's time to start talking about investment. Make an investment in the employees and settle the goddamn strike. Make an investment in yourself as an industry to know that the people that you're going to pay are going to deliver to you exactly what you want them to deliver to you. And the reality is what you want them to deliver to you is the opportunity to change audiences' lives by providing something unique and interesting and fun and original. And that requires investment. And everybody's fucking scared of investment. And they're only cared about return. So until that shifts, we're going to be in this world of 1,000 fucking, bullshit Marvel fucking buses hurtling at you to the center of the screen, down the center of the fucking street, some asshole swinging on a fucking rope with laser beams that shoots off his nipples, and all that bullshit. It's just what we're going to get because there's no investment. It's only return.
That's where we live in, though, Goldie. You're right. It's always about that. That's what I was saying before. It's like they also want to make more money. That's what it comes down to in the day. It's like, what's the most money you're going to want? Something that's cheap. Always these horror movies like A24 do really well because it's cheap. It's like 10 to 15 million, and they know they can make $200 million. That's a big return for them.
Yeah, but Brian, in the world of horror, there is more investment in chance taking than there is in any other genre.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
That's why A24 is a player. That's why A24 is a player. They recognize they can take chances. Many of your audience won't even know the word I'm about to say. Corman. Anyone even know what I mean when I say Corman?
Oh, yeah. All of the Corman franchise? Corman, all of his movies. Roger Corman, all the movies he made. How many movies did he make?
Hundreds, thousands in a fucking warehouse in Venice Beach Toxic Avenger would be a great example of one of them.
We talked about that. They're doing a reboot of that.
This guy put in a couple of $100,000. He was brilliant, and he realized that the genre and the world where he could make the most influential work was in horror, and A24 is no different, and I commend them. Like I say, I don't want to sit through purple phone, blue phone, black phone. It's not my thing, but I get it, and I understand why they're doing it, because it allows them to do everything everywhere all at once. And I keep using that as a reference because name another picture like it.
No, that's why I use it. I use it on all the time on the fucking show, all the fucking time. It's the best example of taking a fucking chance. Like, it's the best example.
You should watch. There's a trailer, there's a teaser out for the Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage. That's coming out too. It's going to be. I think it's early.
Can I say midget? I have a little person.
No, I think it's little person.
Check it out. I mean, it looks good.
Thank you.
If you're a fan of that Roger Corman world, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I honestly think so. He's done a lot of movies.
Yeah, 100%. And to say I'm a fan of the Roger Corman world, it's a little bit of a stretch. I personally can't sit through most of it. I'm not that guy. It's not what I like. I prefer refined work. I spent the last 35 years of my life working so hard to hit every note properly, like a fine musician. You know, the people that work in Hollywood, people don't even understand this. A film crew are a bunch of session players. That's what we are. We're like jazz musicians to show up. We have 100%. Our fucking gig bag. We got our drumsticks. We got our horn. We got our cymbals. Whatever it is we play. And we show up and we just fucking open the sheet of music and we make it happen. And we refine our craft. You know, people think, roofers and people that dig dishes and all that. It's very important, and I wouldn't belittle the work that they do. But they belittle the work that we do. No one has any fucking tolerance for all these people in Hollywood are crying. You don't understand the amount of time and effort. It takes 10,000 hours to be good at something. And I've spent way more than that trying to be a filmmaker and actually succeeding at it. And I will tell you, that is what we're striking for. We're striking not for recognition that we put the time in and did the work. We're striking because we put that result into our work on behalf of the producers that pay us to do our job. And in turn, we provide them the session. We give them we give them the fucking orchestration, and it's done. And in return, we want to be reconciled for that and compensated for it. And the reality is back to what I said earlier. It's about the investment. And few studios are making the investment in the direction that's sustainable and exciting and going to keep the industry alive. Right now, we're on a fucking train wreck crash course into the oblivion of, again, lasers shooting out of your fucking nipples for no reason at all.
Pew, pew, pew.
I'm over it.
I agree with you, Goldie, and that's why we keep
laser nipples.
Yeah, leave the laser nipples out and continue forward with the art. Goldie, you're right, because that's where we're at right now, and it's like that's why everybody's fighting really hard, and that's why there are people that were trying to sign a petition to be like, don't give in right now, because if you give in right now, what was all this fucking time worth? Because there is a group of people out there that really are like, they just want to get back to work. They don't care. They'll get back to work, and they don't care that everybody else won't get a good deal, and that's what we're at. They're fighting. We're fighting internally now, and that's what the AMPTP wants.
David Banner just posted on the chat. I'm going to just want to
little shop of horrors.
Yeah. So let me give you an example of how fucked up the industry is now compared to Roger Corman days. Now, if I walk into a studio and said, I got an idea, just hear me out. The guy finds a man-eating plant from outer space, and he's in love with a girl. In order to get her attention, he starts killing the people in the neighborhood and feeding it to the fucking plant. And the plant gives him special powers. You'd be fucking kicked out of the fucking studio. Your fucking name
100%.
You would never get through security ever again. Roger Corman said, wait a second, so he feeds who to what? And the movie got fucking made. That was with Jack Nicholson.
Huge.
We just had that. Just had that there. Boom.
Yeah.
There it is.
The reality is that that's what's missing. And
Thanks, Queen.
Sorry for Queen motherfucker. And the reality is, I'm sorry for preaching, but I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued as a performer, fatigued as an artist. I'm fatigued as somebody who works in the support end of the industry as well. The reality is, there's a reason we're on strike. I say stay strong. I say let's get what we need to get, because what's not sustainable is the course that the AMPTP, the producers, the studios is on. So if we can at least get on a sustainable course so that we can ride out whatever fucking train wreck they want to load us onto, that's fine. But
which they're super into.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
100%.
The reality is we really, it is time for Hollywood to listen to your show and to listen to the people that are chatting in your chat because we are the people that are paying for the goddamn tickets to go see this shit that they're putting out.
It's very true.
Every day, day in, day out, all of us are. And we are looking for something better. We're looking for something good. We're looking for stimulation. We're looking for something that fucking makes us excited and not just the same old bullshit just with a fucking new sticker placed on top of it. That's what we get a lot of times.
Grease with a spoon. Do a dark roll, you cunt.
Do a fucking dark roll. You're fucking better than that.
Fuck her.
So Sabrina, you want to see a Highlander?
Phone too.
Yeah. So Sabrina, you want to see a Highlander reboot or what?
I'm honestly I think Goldie really summed up everything that I feel about it. The only thing that I can add to everything that he said is that there is one thing that does make me remotely happy about this is that it's the director of John Wick, because I love John Wick and I'm obsessed with John Wick. My favorite action franchise. I will watch all of the John Wicks. I have not watched The Continental, and I don't know if I'll watch Ballerina, but John Wick, I'm in. So that's the only thing that I can add to everything he said. That was very eloquently put, perfectly said. I agree with everything. Chris wants you to run for president, by the way. And also, whilst you were talking for 74 minutes, Goldie, thank you for that. Ryan,
I enjoyed it.
Right.
I enjoyed it.
I'm just busting your balls. Ryan asked us all to drink. So if we get a 4-shot, everybody can do a cheers.
How about Cavill, though, Sabrina? Do you want to see Cavill?
No, fuck him. I don't like him.
I think he'd be great for fucking...
Yeah, whatever. I just don't like him. He's not my favorite. Oh, there he goes again. Ryan, that's for you.
Yeah, I think he'd be fucking great as a Highlander. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just don't... He was... You know what? Recently, Nick at work pointed out that he was in the Tudors, and I actually... remember him being in the Tudors, and he was very good.
Was really
that is the last thing and the only thing that I could remember me not being annoyed with him at. So, whatever. I don't know. I didn't watch The Witcher. I don't like him as Superman. He's just not. I didn't like him in Mission Impossible. He's just not my guy. I'm sorry. He's, Ryan Reynolds. That's my guy.
But this seems like a good crossover with The Witcher.
Was the Highlander.
But he couldn't be because he's too funny and amazing and spectacular to be the Highlander. They want a mopey, dopey, angry person who's that's Henry Cavill.
Cast me as the fucking Highlander. Then people would fucking tune in. And every time I pick up the sword, I fart. That would be perfect. People would fucking watch. At this age, I'm 53 almost. You pick up the sword, you fart. Anything that's heavy. You never trust the fart, by the way.
You have no idea. I have Crohn's disease. I feel you, Goldie. Same thing. You can't trust the fart. Can't trust the fart.
Let's drink to the gas, baby.
Here's to the gas.
Cheers to shitting your pants, y'all.
Before we move on, I want to also say, it's I saw a lot of chatter about a Yoda spinoff, and I think that would actually be a lot of fun. Why have they not done that shit yet? Put Yoda doing flips and shit and having a great time with his force and fucking people up, and then baby Grogu can come in there and be like, I love you, and then he's like, fuck you, back off.
Little known fact, Yoda, they called him Fist of Fury. He was a compulsive masturbator.
Yoda was, huh?
We're not talking about porno, dude. We're talking about the actual Star Wars movie, not what you watched.
Oh, I thought it was the gay porn Broda.
Yeah, no, sorry. We missed that.
He's got a fist up his ass all the time.
We missed that.